riders have looked at a motorcycle and thought, who is actually spending that kind of money? Well, today we're finding out. We've tracked down the most expensive motorcycle from 10 of the biggest brands in the world. And some of these price tags get absolutely ridiculous once the upgrades start piling on. But here's the twist. The most expensive bike isn't always the one you'd expect. Stick around because one manufacturer brought something to this list that changes the conversation completely. Number 10, Suzuki Hayabusa. Long before social media turned every superbike launch into a global event, the Hayabusa had already secured its place in motorcycling history. It wasn't simply known for being fast. It was known for being the motorcycle that redefined what fast meant. For an entire generation of riders, the name alone became synonymous with extreme performance, endless highway pulls, and a level of speed that bordered on mythical. More than 2 decades later, that legend remains remarkably intact. For 2027, the Hayabusa remains the most expensive motorcycle in Suzuki's production lineup, and it earns that position through a blend of power, maturity, and real-world usability that few high-performance machines can match. Beneath its sculpted bodywork sits a 1,340 cubic centimeter liquid, cooled inline 4, producing roughly 190 horsepower and around 110 pound-feet of torque. A 6-speed transmission paired with a bi-directional quickshifter keeps acceleration effortless, whether you are charging onto a freeway ramp or covering endless miles across open country. What separates the Hayabusa from many exotic performance motorcycles is that it never feels interested in showing off. The riding position remains surprisingly accommodating, the wind protection remains excellent, and the fully adjustable suspension helps the motorcycle stay composed even when the pace begins to climb. Add Brembo Stalema brakes, cruise control, cornering ABS, traction control, launch control, multiple ride modes, and a deeply refined electronics package, and you end up with a machine that feels every bit as polished as it does powerful. New examples typically begin around the $20,000 mark before destination charges, accessories, and premium add-ons enter the picture. The Hayabusa is not the most luxurious motorcycle in this countdown. It is not the rarest. It is not even the most technologically ambitious. What it offers instead is something harder to manufacture: legacy. If you're the kind of rider who appreciates seeing what manufacturers can accomplish when budgets practically disappear, hit that like button and subscribe. That's what helps us keep bringing you deep dives into motorcycles most people only get to admire from a distance. And while Suzuki's flagship earned its place through decades of speed and reputation, the next motorcycle comes from a company that chased a very different dream, one built around precision engineering, race-bred sophistication, and technology so advanced it feels borrowed from another world. Number 9, Yamaha YZF-R1M. There is a reason most riders will never come close to unlocking everything this motorcycle can do. The Yamaha YZF-R1M is not a machine built around comfort, convenience, or everyday practicality. It is a machine built around potential. Every component, every electronic system, and every aerodynamic surface exists for a single purpose: helping the rider go faster. As Yamaha's most expensive production motorcycle for 2027, the R1M stands as the closest thing the company offers to a factory race bike with a license plate. At its heart sits a 998 cubic centimeter crossplane, inline 4, producing roughly 197 horsepower and about 83 pound-feet of torque. Those numbers are impressive on their own, but they tell only part of the story. What riders remember is the feeling. The crossplane engine delivers power with a distinctive character that creates an unusually direct connection between your right hand and the rear tire, making acceleration feel intuitive, immediate, and deeply involving. Everything surrounding that engine is built with one goal in mind: control. Lightweight carbon fiber bodywork helps trim weight, while premium Öhlins electronic racing suspension constantly adapts to changing conditions using data from a sophisticated 6-axis inertial measurement unit. Lean-sensitive traction control, slide control, wheelie control, launch control, engine brake management, cornering ABS, and an advanced quick shifter work together behind the scenes, helping riders explore the motorcycle's enormous potential with greater confidence. That exclusivity comes at a price. New examples approach the $30,000 mark once destination charges, fees, and common dealership costs are included. Even on the pre-owned market, clean low-mileage motorcycles often command figures that would purchase several capable everyday machines. The remarkable thing about the R1M is that it makes no apologies. It does not prioritize comfort. It does not chase touring capability. It does not attempt to satisfy everyone. Instead, it pursues perfection within a very specific mission. And here's what I want to know. Which approach do you prefer? Race-focused performance like the superbikes we've seen so far, or luxury-focused engineering? Leave a comment and tell us which motorcycle has impressed you the most and why. And without any further delay, let's dive into the next machine. A motorcycle that achieves speed through an engineering solution, unlike anything else in this countdown. Number 8. Kawasaki Ninja H2 SX SE. The idea sounds almost ridiculous on paper. Take one of the most exotic technologies in motorcycling, bolt a supercharger to an already powerful inline-4, then turn the result into a motorcycle capable of crossing entire countries in comfort. Yet somehow, Kawasaki made it work. This is not a motorcycle built around compromise. It is a machine created for riders who want staggering acceleration in the morning, effortless highway miles in the afternoon, and enough technology to make even luxury automobiles seem conservative. At the center of it all sits Kawasaki's remarkable 998 cubic centimeter supercharged inline-4. Producing roughly 197 horsepower and nearly 101 pound-feet of torque, it delivers power in a way that feels dramatically different from most high-performance motorcycles. There is no need to constantly chase the upper reaches of the rev range. Twist the throttle, and the response arrives with an almost endless wave of thrust that feels smooth, immediate, and deeply addictive. Yet what truly separates this motorcycle from the crowd is how intelligent it feels. The Ninja H2 SX SE comes loaded with an extraordinary collection of rider assistance systems, including adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, forward collision warning, vehicle hold assist, cornering ABS, electronic suspension, traction control, launch control, multiple riding modes, and a sophisticated 6-axis inertial measurement unit working constantly behind the scenes. The result is a motorcycle that feels reassuringly advanced without becoming overwhelming. Comfort also plays a major role in its appeal. The riding position remains surprisingly accommodating, wind protection is excellent, heated grips come standard, and the suspension adapts beautifully to changing road conditions. It is one of the rare motorcycles capable of delivering genuine touring comfort while still possessing the heart of a hypersport machine. That versatility comes at a premium. Fully equipped examples can easily move beyond the $30,000 mark once luggage, touring accessories, destination charges, and dealer fees enter the equation. The Ninja H2 SX SE excels because it refuses to choose between speed and sophistication. But complexity isn't always the goal. For some riders, the thrill comes from stripping away the extra layers and experiencing raw performance in its purest form. That desire for something more immediate, more aggressive, and more rider-focused points directly toward the next answer. A machine built around relentless power rather than grand touring refinement. Number 7. KTM 1390 Super Duke R Evo. There is a reason motorcycles like this earn nicknames. KTM didn't build the Super Duke to be subtle, comfortable, or universally appealing. It was built to deliver an experience. Every line, every component, and every engineering decision seems focused on making the rider feel more connected to the machine and more involved in what happens when the road begins to twist. As KTM's most expensive street motorcycle for 2027, the 1390 Super Duke R Evo represents the company's philosophy at its purest. Less restraint, more excitement, and absolutely no interest in being ordinary. At the center of this machine sits a massive 1,350 cubic centimeter LC8V twin, producing roughly 190 horsepower and around 107 pound-feet of torque. The numbers are impressive, but they still fail to capture the experience. Open the throttle and the motorcycle lunges forward with such urgency that every straightaway suddenly feels shorter than you remembered. What makes the Super Duke so captivating is not simply its speed, it is the way it delivers that speed. The broad handlebars place the rider in command, the chassis feels remarkably responsive, and the motorcycle communicates constantly through the seat, pegs, and bars. Rather than isolating you from the road, it pulls you deeper into the experience. Every corner feels more involving. Every acceleration feels more dramatic. Supporting that character is KTM's advanced WP semi-active suspension system, continuously adapting to changing conditions and rider inputs. Cornering ABS, lean-sensitive traction control, launch control, wheelie control, cruise control, multiple ride modes, quick shifter functionality, and a sophisticated 6-axis inertial measurement unit create a package that feels as intelligent as it is aggressive. Pricing reflects its flagship status. New examples typically begin in the low $20,000 range before destination fees, performance upgrades, premium components, and accessory packages enter the picture. A fully equipped machine can climb considerably higher. The remarkable thing about the Super Duke R Evo is that it never tries to hide its personality. It is bold, unapologetic, and intensely alive. But for some riders, raw excitement is only part of the equation. They want something larger, richer, and more commanding, a motorcycle whose very engine becomes the centerpiece of the entire experience. And few machines on Earth answer that description, quite like the giant waiting in the next position. Number 6. Triumph Rocket 3 Storm GT. There are motorcycles that feel powerful. Then there are motorcycles that make the very idea of power feel different. The Triumph Rocket 3 Storm GT belongs firmly in that second group. From the moment it rolls into view, this machine announces itself with a presence that few motorcycles can match. It is longer, larger, and more commanding than almost anything else on the road. Yet what truly sets it apart is not its size. It is the astonishing force waiting beneath the fuel tank. At the heart of Triumph's flagship sits the largest production motorcycle engine in the world, a colossal 2,458 cubic centimeter inline 3, producing roughly 180 horsepower and an incredible 166 pound-feet of torque. The Storm GT delivers acceleration that feels almost effortless. There is no frantic rush to find power, no need to chase the upper end of the rev range. Twist the throttle and a massive wave of thrust simply arrives, smooth, immediate, and seemingly endless. What makes the Rocket so remarkable is that it combines this muscle car character with genuine long-distance comfort. The GT variant features a more touring-focused riding position, a supportive seat, thoughtfully placed controls, and ergonomics that make extended days in the saddle feel surprisingly natural. Once underway, the motorcycle disguises its size exceptionally well, offering stability and confidence that encourage riders to keep exploring far beyond the next town. Technology is equally impressive. Cornering ABS, lean-sensitive traction control, cruise control, hill hold assistance, multiple ride modes, keyless ignition, a full-color display, premium suspension, and high-end Brembo braking components ensure the experience feels every bit as sophisticated as its price tag suggests. New examples typically begin in the mid-$20,000 range before touring accessories, luggage systems, heated equipment, and premium factory upgrades enter the equation. A fully outfitted machine can comfortably move beyond the $30,000 threshold. The Rocket 3 Storm GT succeeds because it offers something increasingly rare: character. It does not feel like a motorcycle following industry trends. It feels like a motorcycle creating its own category. Now we're getting into the territory where motorcycles stop competing with other motorcycles and start competing with luxury cars. So tell us in the comments, what's the most you would personally spend on a motorcycle, no matter how good it is? Some of the numbers still ahead might completely change your answer. The Rocket 3 Storm GT delivers something few motorcycles can match: overwhelming presence. Its enormous engine, effortless torque, and premium touring comfort create an experience that feels expensive in every sense of the word. But exclusivity wears many faces. For some high-end buyers, true prestige is not measured by engine size or road presence. It is measured by proximity to professional racing. And that distinction pushes the spotlight toward the next machine, a motorcycle built not to dominate highways, but to bring world-class competition technology astonishingly close to the public road. Number 5. Ducati Panigale V4R. Most premium motorcycles are designed to satisfy their owners. The Ducati Panigale V4R feels like it was designed to satisfy a racing engineer. This is not a machine that chases comfort, convenience, or everyday practicality. It exists because Ducati has spent decades pursuing one obsession above all others: winning. As the most expensive and most exclusive production sport bike in Ducati's lineup, the Panigale V4R represents the closest connection ordinary riders can have to the company's championship-winning superbike program. At the center of this remarkable motorcycle sits a 998 cubic centimeter 𝐏𝐄𝐑𝐑 R engine. Unlike the larger power plant found in other Panigale models, this one was developed with competition in mind. Equipped with Ducati's race exhaust system, output climbs to roughly 240 horsepower, placing the V4R among the most potent production motorcycles ever offered to the public. Yet what makes this Ducati so special is not simply the power. Everything about the motorcycle feels purposeful. The forged wheels, advanced engine internals, aerodynamic winglets, race-developed chassis, and countless lightweight components exist to serve a single mission. Nothing is decorative, nothing is unnecessary. Every piece contributes to speed, precision, and control. The electronics package reflects that philosophy. Cornering ABS, traction control, wheelie control, slide control, launch control, engine brake management, multiple riding modes, and a bi-directional quick shifter operate through an advanced 6-axis inertial measurement unit. Together, they help transform extraordinary performance into something a skilled rider can actually access. Ownership, however, comes at a significant cost. New examples begin around the mid-$40,000 range before taxes, destination charges, performance upgrades, telemetry systems, and premium Ducati accessories are added. Fully equipped motorcycles can move well beyond the $50,000 mark. The Panigale V4R is not built for everyone, and Ducati never intended it to be. It is built for enthusiasts who want to own something that feels genuinely connected to the highest levels of motorcycle competition. But while Ducati's flagship celebrates speed with almost single-minded intensity, the motorcycle waiting ahead proves that exclusivity can take another form entirely, one centered around elegance, long-distance mastery, and a level of refinement that transforms every mile into an experience rather than a destination. Number 4. BMW K 1600 Grand America. Most motorcycle manufacturers spend their entire existence trying to perfect the twin, the triple, or the 4-cylinder engine. BMW looked at all of that and decided 6 cylinders sounded even better. The K 1600 Grand America begins with an engine that feels almost excessive by motorcycle standards, and that is precisely the point. This is not a machine built around lap times or adrenaline. It was created for riders who measure journeys in states crossed rather than corners carved, and who believe true luxury means arriving after hundreds of miles feeling ready to keep going. At the heart of BMW's touring flagship sits one of the most celebrated engines in motorcycling, a 1,649 cubic centimeter inline-6, producing roughly 160 horsepower and around 133 pound-feet of torque. It delivers power with a smoothness that borders on extraordinary. Roll on the throttle and the motorcycle gathers speed with such effortless grace that it never feels hurried, no matter how quickly the scenery begins to blur. Yet the Grand America's greatest strength is how completely it takes care of its rider. The seating position is spacious, the wind protection is exceptional, and the integrated luggage system turns long-distance travel into a remarkably stress-free experience. Passenger accommodations are equally impressive, making this one of the few motorcycles where both rider and passenger can genuinely look forward to an all-day journey. Technology is woven throughout every aspect of the experience. Adaptive cruise control, dynamic ESA electronic suspension, blind spot monitoring, cornering ABS, traction control, hill start assist, multiple ride modes, and a sophisticated infotainment system work together to create a motorcycle that feels remarkably modern and reassuringly refined. Naturally, that level of luxury commands a substantial investment. Well-equipped examples often move beyond the mid-$30,000 range once premium packages, factory options, destination charges, and additional touring equipment are included. What makes the Grand America so compelling is that it understands something many motorcycles do not. The destination is only half the story. The journey itself matters just as much. Yet refinement alone doesn't always satisfy premium buyers. Some riders want something that feels rarer, something that turns heads before anyone asks about the specifications. When exclusivity becomes just as important as engineering, the search naturally continues to the next motorcycle, one produced in far smaller numbers and built to make every arrival feel special. Number 3. Indian Roadmaster Elite. Before most people ask about the engine, they ask about the paint. That tells you almost everything you need to know about the Indian Roadmaster Elite. While many premium motorcycles compete through horsepower, technology, or outright performance, this one takes a different approach. It wins attention through craftsmanship. Every Roadmaster Elite feels less like a mass-produced motorcycle and more like a limited production luxury item. The intricate paintwork, exclusive detailing, and carefully curated finishes immediately separate it from ordinary touring machines. As the crown jewel of Indian motorcycles' touring lineup, the Roadmaster Elite is less about transportation and more about experience. This is the machine rider's graduate to when they want something beyond ordinary luxury, something that feels special every single time the garage door rises. Its exclusivity becomes obvious long before the wheels start turning. Elite models are produced in limited numbers and finished with intricate multi-stage paintwork that requires countless hours of craftsmanship. Unique badging, premium trim pieces, and distinctive styling details ensure that this motorcycle stands apart from virtually everything else on the road. Power comes from Indian's Thunderstroke 116V twin, a massive 1,890 cubic centimeter engine producing roughly 126 pound-feet of torque. Rather than chasing high rev excitement, it delivers a deep wave of effortless pulling power that feels perfectly suited to crossing entire regions without hurry or stress. Comfort is where the Roadmaster Elite truly earns its reputation. Heated seating for both rider and passenger, heated grips, expansive floorboards, a power-adjustable windshield, generous storage capacity, and exceptionally accommodating passenger accommodations create an environment designed around long days and distant destinations. This is a motorcycle that encourages you to keep going long after most others would have called it a day. Technology remains equally impressive. Navigation, premium audio, smartphone integration, selectable ride modes, cruise control, tire pressure monitoring, and a sophisticated infotainment system bring modern convenience to a machine rooted in classic American character. Naturally, that experience commands a substantial investment. Well-equipped examples can move comfortably beyond the mid-$40,000 range once destination charges, accessories, and ownership extras enter the equation. The Roadmaster Elite is not trying to be the fastest machine in this countdown. Its mission is something altogether different. It delivers prestige, craftsmanship, comfort, and exclusivity in a way few motorcycles ever manage. But for some big spenders, rarity is only part of the equation. They also want a motorcycle backed by one of the most recognizable names in motorcycling, loaded with factory upgrades and engineered to deliver flagship performance straight from the showroom. That expectation points directly toward the next contender, a machine carrying decades of prestige and a price tag to match. Number 2. Harley-Davidson CVO Road Glide ST. Some motorcycles are built to take you places. Others are built to make a statement the moment they arrive. The Harley-Davidson CVO Road Glide ST somehow manages to do both, and that is exactly why it sits near the very top of this countdown. Within Harley-Davidson, the letters CVO carry enormous weight. They stand for Custom Vehicle Operations, the division responsible for creating the most exclusive, most ambitious, and most meticulously finished motorcycles the company can produce. And among those machines, few command attention, quite like the Road Glide ST. At the center of this flagship is the Milwaukee 8-variable valve timing 121 high-output V-twin. Displacing nearly 2,000 cubic centimeters, It produces roughly 127 horsepower and an astonishing 145 pound-feet of torque. Twist the throttle and the response feels immediate, muscular, and effortlessly authoritative. Whether you are overtaking traffic on the interstate or carving through sweeping back roads. Yet what makes this motorcycle so impressive is not merely its strength. Harley-Davidson engineered the Road Glide ST to feel far more athletic than most riders expect from a full-size touring machine. Premium suspension components, upgraded braking hardware, lightweight performance-inspired wheels, and refined chassis tuning create a motorcycle that feels surprisingly eager when the road begins to twist. At the same time, it never forgets its touring mission. The signature shark nose fairing delivers outstanding wind protection, the seat remains supportive during long days in the saddle, and generous luggage capacity allows riders to disappear for days without sacrificing convenience. Technology plays a major role as well. Multiple ride modes, cornering enhanced rider aids, traction control, tire pressure monitoring, vehicle hold control, navigation, premium audio, and a large touchscreen interface help create an experience that feels every bit as modern as it does iconic. Naturally, exclusivity comes at a cost. Once destination charges, premium accessories, and ownership upgrades are factored in, many examples comfortably move beyond the $50,000 mark. The remarkable thing about the CVO Road Glide ST is that it feels like several motorcycles rolled into one. It is a luxury tour, a performance machine, a long-distance companion, and a rolling symbol of American motorcycling heritage. And that reveals something important about motorcycles at this level. The right machine doesn't leave you wondering whether you spent too much. It reminds you why you wanted it in the first place. That's exactly why we put so much effort into creating these countdowns. If you'd like early access to upcoming videos before they're released publicly and want to support the channel even further, consider becoming a member. Your support helps us continue researching, producing, and improving every video we make. The CVO Road Glide ST comes remarkably close to being the complete luxury motorcycle. But one machine still manages to go a step further, delivering a level of comfort, technology, and refinement that has made it the benchmark for premium touring motorcycles around the world. Number 1, Honda Goldwing Tour DCT Airbag. Every category has a benchmark, a machine so successful, so influential, and so complete that competitors spend decades trying to catch it. In the world of luxury touring motorcycles, that machine is the Honda Goldwing. Long before many of today's flagship tours existed, the Goldwing had already established itself as the standard for comfort, refinement, and long-distance capability. And even in 2027, it remains the motorcycle that everyone else is still measured against. At its heart sits a 1,833 cubic centimeter liquid-cooled flat six that delivers smooth, effortless power with remarkable refinement. Paired with Honda's dual-clutch transmission, the experience feels almost seamless, reducing fatigue while making long days in the saddle feel surprisingly easy. But what truly separates the Goldwing is how completely it serves its rider. Heated seating, premium audio, electronic suspension, cruise control, smartphone integration, generous luggage capacity, advanced rider aids, and the industry's only factory-installed airbag system create an experience that feels thoroughly engineered around real-world travel. Even with a price that can climb well beyond the mid-$30,000 range when fully equipped, the value remains surprisingly strong because this motorcycle excels almost everywhere. Some machines specialize in performance, others focus on luxury, a few prioritize technology. The Goldwing delivers all three, and that balance is exactly why Honda's flagship earns the top position in this countdown. And together with every flagship machine we've covered today, these represent the absolute peak of what the motorcycle industry can build when cost stops being the primary concern. You might think seeing the most expensive motorcycles from every major brand means you've already seen the future. But the motorcycle world never stands still. New technology, bigger performance numbers, and even more ambitious machines are already changing the game. And there's no better place to see where that road leads than the next video on your screen. Click the next video to continue the road trip. Join our tribe by subscribing. And if you want to support the channel and get early access to our newest videos, become a member. And don't forget to like this video.